views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of Bronxnet or the program underwriters.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Meetings of the Minds in partnership with Bronxnet Television. We are super excited to continue our series on highlighting our members, our affiliates, and advocates for not only the Hispanic community, but all communities of color. Our segments will be hyper-focused on economic resources, equity, inclusion, and stories about how we got a seat on the table. That's right. La silla en la mesa. Estamos ahí hasta que por fin. This is very, very, very exciting to me because as we transition out of Black History Month into Women's History Month, we have a story of corporate integrity, entrepreneurial courage, and paying it forward. Ms. Marcia Guerriere founded and personally funded Hersuitespot. Her business is an MWBE certified coaching business focused on helping women of color in their early stages of entrepreneurship. I mean, she helps them in the most uncomfortable of stages when it comes to transitioning from employee to employer. Marcia, we are so excited to have you here today. I can't wait to get into your story. Can you start by telling us a little bit more about your business?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you today. So, Her Sweet Spot is a private network for women of color seeking to advance in leadership and entrepreneurship. I say that we help women that are in corporate America looking to get self-promoted and increase their revenue, right? Because we are women that are oftentimes undervalued and under promoted. And we really support women that are working both 9 to 5 and starting a business. We have 4 core pillars within our business, which focus on mindset, money, marketing, and media, which is part of our core training and coaching that we do with small business owners.
Talk to me a little bit more about this mindset, right? Because in order to jump from being an employee to taking on the great feat of being an entrepreneur, there has to be a shift in mindset. Can you elaborate?
Yes, the mindset is usually the last thing that startups and small business sidepreneurs think about when dealing with how to grow and really scale their business. They're oftentimes running away from the corporation structures and systems that are in place. And so they don't realize the trauma that they're holding on to and what's probably holding them back into growing their business a bit further. So having that strong CEO mindset, being able to persevere, being able to be resilient to the no's and all of the negativity that will come. Oftentimes people are negative to small business owners, not because they don't want us to succeed, but because entrepreneurship is hard. So
Yeah.
sometimes, like parenting, you don't want your children to walk into danger, so you keep them from certain things. And it's the same way with entrepreneurship. Oftentimes we're trying to run away from the danger. So we have many executives and senior level entrepreneurs in corporate America that really negatively try to steer us away from that path. But it it takes a certain mindset in order to understand that there will be challenges, there will be dark days, but you can uh, obviously all of these Google started somewhere, Amazon started somewhere. It wasn't a successful path to that $1 billion valuation. It was There were naysayers in that progression, and we're gonna face that as well. And so mindset is a very important component to helping entrepreneurs get past the barriers and the obstacles and the past traumas of the things they've experienced inside corporate America.
Mhm. I mean, you've hit on so many key points, right? It's very difficult. There, it comes with a lot of trauma. It comes with a lot of challenges, and one of those challenges is also money and finance, right? And a lot of entrepreneurs, especially those of nonprofit organizations, have to go uh, out to start looking for funding for their business. Well, not even nonprofit, even corporations have to look for
Right.
funding for their business. You know, in the height of this, I want to call it summer of terror with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and the social and civil unrest, we saw a lot of corporations just being extremely reactive and giving to big organizations that were trending. I'm not saying the organizations have not been doing, you know, great things, because they have, but oftentimes they've overlooked what is right in front of them. Can you
Right.
tell us your story?
Absolutely. It's my favorite topic. So last year I call the year 2020 was a year of pain and joy. Pain for all of the trauma that we were experiencing because of the pandemic, and then watching all the social unrest happening right before our eyes in a way that we've never truly collectively as a country seen before. And like you said, corporations were, putting out those sound bites of support. They couldn't ignore, particularly because of George Floyd's incident or death or murder, they couldn't ignore the cries of the Black Lives Matter movement. And so many of them came out and said, we're going to start supporting. We will put our dollars into these organizations, major organizations like the Black Lives Matter organization and NAACP, which are phenomenal and do great work and have always done great work. And last year, my CEO, so I'm a full-time employee and employer, and the CEO of the company that I work for made his great statement in support of Black Lives Matter and put a call to action out to his employees to say, give us your organizations. We want to support the companies that you support. And so my colleagues and I, we got together. We said, okay, here's the list of the organizations we're going to offer to him. And I sat at my desk for several days, laboring on my response to his email. And I said, you know what, Marcia, this is your shot. I run not only my for profit, which is Her Sweet Spot, but my non for profit, which is the Eva Jordan Foundation. And we have often, like you said in the beginning, I've self-funded a micro grant for small business women of color entrepreneurs. And I said, you know what? Let me tell him about who I am. Let me share my story. Often for years, I've been hiding and I've been running what I call my underground railroad of entrepreneurship at work. I've been hiding it and secretly helping women, right? And I work in fintech. I'm a Black woman in tech, which I often don't publicize because I've always been in secret. And so last year, I sent him an email. I said, listen, I have been working in fintech for over 20 years, over 25 years. I have been working for your organization for 10 years through acquisitions, and I've been marginalized. I've been undervalued and underpromoted. For validation, self validation, I started my nonprofit, I started my for profit. This is how I help women in my community that are severely impacted because of everything that's happening here in 2020. And I need your dollars.
Mm.
I was going to tell you all of the amazing organizations that I love and that I support and that I believe are doing the right thing for our community at a large, but this is how I help people. And I need your dollars. And I got a response, and I said to him, can we keep this private, just between you and me? And he responded to me. To my surprise, he CC'd two other people and said, I'm so happy that you did decide bravely to come to me, and I'm going to help you and I'm going to support you. And because of his efforts, I raised a little bit over $25,000 through my company alone to
Mm.
fund the Her Rise micro grant fund, which gave away over $20,000 last year to women of color, small business owners. And we are funded to continue our mission to give $500 a month to one small women of color small business.
Wow, congratulations. That
Thank you.
was very courageous. And you know, my mentor, who's also the president of the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, would always say, Sulma, sometimes the answer is right in front of you.
Yeah.
And it really does take that conversation with your inner self, the part of you that's afraid to have that courageous, you
Yeah.
know, much needed discussion. So with that story, I hope that so many women are encouraged to grab onto that courage and make a difference, specifically for organizations that are right in front of you. I mean, Marsha has been doing this for how many years, and she's kept it a secret. How many more Marshas are within your organization? And we need to continue to speak with each other and find out a little bit more about our communities, what's needed and who's doing what to help. And Marsha was right there, and I commend you for that. But you are also an Amazon best-selling author. You authored the book Pathways to Her Rise.
Yes.
Please tell us a little bit about that book.
So I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Pathways to Her Rise. I am a three-time best-selling author and have been producing and self-publishing books for several years and helping women tell and share their stories as authors and become best-selling authors. And Pathways to Her Rise is the latest book. So many of the women that were recipients of the Her Rise grant in 2020 and businesses were impacted by COVID-19, I brought 9 courageous women out of that pool to develop this book and help them share their stories on their path through their careers, all the way up to entrepreneurship. And it is turning out to be an amazing book. And I'm so excited. We're as we approach Women's Month, as you mentioned earlier, we'll be hosting our launch party on Women's Day to really celebrate each and every one of our authors and the stories that they're sharing. We talk about building legacy. Several of our authors are running family businesses that they have been able to successfully take over, bring into the new digital age, and really expand the family legacy that their ancestors have built for them.
That is incredible. So I am about to drop all kinds of F-bombs on you. Marsha is a founder, a funder. She's fierce and she is on fire and she pays it forward. I think that's the only time F-bombs are acceptable. but thank you so much for being with us. We applaud you. We support you. And you already know the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is also here to serve you and all of your entrepreneurs. I think that this is not going to be the end of our conversation, and we look forward to hearing more. Congratulations and best of luck on all of your endeavors. Thank you for being with us on another episode of Meetings of the Minds in partnership with Bronxnet. Once again, if you are not yet a member of the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, it's super easy. www.hispanicchamber.nyc. www.hispanicchamber.nyc. Oh my goodness, Marsha, how do we contact you?
You can reach me at in all social media platforms. My handle everywhere is Hersuitespot. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And our website is hersuitespot.com. That's sweet, SUITE, spot.com.
That's right. Thank you so much again, my sister. We'll talk soon. All right.